What's the most inaccurate thing your child has ever been taught in school? My 8-year-old daughter Mia came home and announced she was switching to her left hand for everything because her teacher said left-handed people are smarter. Mrs. Patterson had apparently told the class that left-handed people use more of their brain and are automatically more creative. She'd pointed to famous lefties like Einstein and Da Vinci as proof. Then she made all the right-handed kids try writing with their left hands to unlock their hidden potential. Mia became obsessed overnight. She spent the entire weekend struggling to write with her left hand, getting frustrated and crying because her homework looked like chicken scratch. She tried eating lefty, brushing her teeth lefty, even throwing a ball lefty. Everything was a disaster. Sunday night, she sat at the kitchen table in tears, trying to finish her math worksheet. Her left-handed writing was barely legible, and eraser marks covered the page from her shaky attempts. "Mom, why did God make me right-handed if it means I'm dumber?" she asked, her voice breaking. "Mrs. Patterson says I'm only using half my brain. That's why Jessica's art is prettier than mine. She's left-handed." My heart shattered. I'm actually left-handed myself, and I knew this was complete pseudoscientific garbage. Brain dominance doesn't work that way at all. Handedness is just a physical preference, not an intelligence indicator. I tried explaining that being right-handed was perfectly normal and didn't make her less smart, but the damage was done. She'd already internalized that she was somehow deficient. Monday morning, I marched into that classroom with a stack of neuroscience articles I'd printed from Johns Hopkins and Mayo Clinic. But Mrs. Patterson wasn't having it. "Well, you're left-handed and you seem pretty smart, so clearly I'm right," she said smugly. "I'm just trying to help these kids reach their full potential. You just told my daughter she's intellectually inferior because of which hand she writes with," I shot back. "That's not education. That's creating psychological damage." She rolled her eyes. "You're being dramatic. It's just science." That afternoon, I called the principal. Turns out I wasn't the first parent to complain. 3 other families had already called about their kids coming home upset, trying to force themselves to be left-handed. One mom told me her son had been secretly practicing writing lefty for weeks, giving himself hand cramps. Another kid had started calling himself stupid because he couldn't master left-handed scissors. The principal scheduled a meeting for Wednesday. Mrs. Patterson walked in confident, armed with printouts from some sketchy blog about left brain, right brain myths. She clearly hadn't bothered researching actual neuroscience. I came prepared. I'd contacted my college roommate, who's now a neuropsychologist at Stanford. Dr. Sarah Martinez joined our meeting via video call. "This is incredibly harmful," Dr. Martinez explained patiently. "Handedness is determined by brain lateralization, but it has zero correlation with intelligence or creativity. You're essentially telling children they're born deficient." Mrs. Patterson's face went red. "But Einstein was left-handed." "Actually, there's no definitive proof Einstein was left-handed," Dr. Martinez replied. "But even if he were, correlation isn't causation. Some of history's greatest minds were right-handed too." The principal looked mortified as Dr. Martinez explained how this kind of messaging can create lasting self-esteem issues in children. "You're making kids feel ashamed of their natural neurological wiring." By Friday, Mrs. Patterson had to send a letter home to all parents explaining that handedness has nothing to do with intelligence or ability. The school brought in an actual neuropsychologist to do an assembly about how all brains are amazing regardless of dominant hand. Mia went back to writing with her right hand, and slowly her confidence returned, but it took weeks of reassurance to undo the damage. Now she loves telling people that brains are way more complex than which hand you prefer, and that being different doesn't mean being better or worse. Mrs. Patterson, she got mandatory continuing education on child psychology and the real damage that false comparisons can cause developing minds. The best part? Mia's now fascinated by actual neuroscience and wants to be a brain doctor when she grows up.